People are not going to pay $5,000 a month for you just to look at their ads.
Hey, welcome back to the Marketing Freelancer. I'm your host, Emily Reagan. You can see behind me, I have a bunch of Mylar number balloons because I am celebrating my podcast crossing 100,000 downloads. Honestly, it crossed it in the spring. It's past 130 at this point, but I'm planning like a fun thing. Just after the summer break, we've come back. We've reinvented the podcast and a new format. I want to skip the basic how-to content, and I really want to get into the conversations of the marketers who are behind the scenes doing the work. The saying is you are the sum of the people you hang out with, right? Surrounding yourself with like-minded people, people who can be inspiring to you, who support you and encouraging you. But there's also something just kind of like icky about this word networking and feeling like you always have to posture and position yourself to get something out of somebody. And that's what my work group and my community is not about. We are about giving and contributing because it feels good. So today I have my friend Megan Shields. Anytime her and I get together, it's always a spicy conversation of hot takes, what we see trending, a lot of ranting, a lot of bitching. But she is so freaking smart. And this is what lights me up when I can see what other people are going through and know, yeah, I'm not alone. It's a different landscape right now. And this is what I need to do to step up. One thing that really lights me up is when I hear about new tech, when I can show up to a client and recommend things that I'm hearing and buzzing from my friends. And that's why Megan is here today. She's the founder of Chime House Media. She has been in the marketing space for a while. She's actually been on the podcast before. She's been in my work group before, but her and I recently met in Charlotte and she has niched down into marketing and we were talking. I'm like, you're doing CMO work here. You're doing more than ads management. We're really stepping up into this role of being able to analyze data, offers, and be the marketing director inside our clients' businesses. And she was telling me about this cool new tech that she has. And I know there's a lot of funnel platforms out there that lets you step up into the CMO role. The fractional space is hot right now. There's a lot of people exiting corporate who want to just skip low level, VA work or admin work or assistant work and go straight into consulting, bigger retainers. And so what Megan is sharing here today, trends we're seeing with ads in the online space and marketing, of course, her spicy hot takes. And then in the work group, I'm going to have her demo this tech that will help you be a high level CMO. It will help you go above and beyond within the marketing realm because our clients do expect more. You need to be able to read the data. You need to be able to set yourself apart from other ads managers. We're going to talk all about, commoditizing the rates, what's happening in this space. But my goal for you charge more. You have dream client retainers for longer and your business is more successful so you can also live that freelancer lifestyle. All right, let's jump into our conversation. Hey, Megan, I'm so excited to have this conversation with you. First, I want to do what's so awkward for all of us who are behind the scenes and let's brag about what you've accomplished in the online space as an ads manager, as a business owner.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so stoked that we're doing this. So thank you for having me. I'm excited to bring our little coffee chat to life. So so I've been working in the online space now, specifically doing ads, but also moving more into strategy, funnel strategy, revenue optimization, things like that. But over the last 6 years, I've worked on many, many multi-six-figure launches, a lot of the Amy Porterfield style. I've actually worked as part of her team to support her students through DCA for a couple of years up until her last DCA launch this past year. And I've just been in and around the online space for a really, really long time, supporting online entrepreneurs with their digital products, their coaching programs, low ticket offers, and everything in between.
That's why I love this conversation with you because you have been around for all the changes and the evolution. And whenever you and I get together, we always have the spicy takes on everything. So to set us up inside the work group, we're going to continue this conversation because the thing that's frustrating with me about podcasts is this like one way speaking at you dynamic, but we're going to continue into how you up level outside of like just an ads manager, although that sounds like, horrible to say that, but how to go to that next level in the marketing department. But I just want to pick your brain in this conversation about doing that, lessons you've learned, mistakes you've made, things you're seeing in the online space. Because when you and I get together, we get really revved up. And one thing that really stood out to me was when you talked about what's happening in the ad space. And I have a lot of ads manager friends. I run ads for clients too. I just don't market myself as a full-blown ads manager. But you were talking about this race to the bottom that's happening with ads managers undercharging and like acting out of scarcity and desperation. So tell me what you're seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's been crazy. So I've kind of been feeling this way for like I would say probably the last year,
Mhm.
and just kind of noticing what's been happening. And now I don't know if it's just the environment where I feel like every time I turn around, someone's taking a job or closing their business or something like that. And so I think maybe my senses are more heightened when I'm seeing these things. But it's just, everything has become so commoditized with ads management, being an ads manager, and just like agency world in general. It's like who can do it cheaper, faster, that sort of thing. Bringing AI into it gives the perception that it's easier to do it on your own, not that it is. Even with Meta's updates and everything, where it seems that people can do it on their own. But there's just a lot of perception with that, and I've even seen a lot of people who have been successful in the ad space that are, like, offering programs and doing stuff for, like, $12, and I'm like, "Okay, it's probably part of a bigger scheme." I'm sure that it is to, like,
Yeah.
upsell people into higher ticket programs, but it gives the perception that, like, ad strategy, ad management, ad support, ad this, ad that is super cheap.
Yeah.
And so it's really just been like a race to the bottom. That's just never really the space that I've wanted to work in. I don't wanna sell $5 programs, like, that's just not really how I wanted to build my business, and so, in thinking about that, I was like, "I wanna make some changes because that's not a game I wanna play in."
Mm-mm. You were telling me somebody was doing, like, for a year for $150 or something, like, ridiculous for
Yeah,
a year of ad support, and again, fine print and what is the upsell, what is the catch,
sure.
but, like, what the hell? Like, ads used to be so respected and hard to get
Yes.
into. You're bringing in analytics, you're bringing in design, conversion copy, sales psychology, and then add in the freaking tech of
Oh,
Meta.
yeah.
And I don't what is happening? I know AI has simplified some stuff within Meta, but do you think it's just more people are getting in the game or like what's your take on that?
I truly believe that honestly running ads has never been harder. I think that the ads space now should be more respected because I like salivate at the thought of being an ad manager in like 2018, 2019. I'm like,
The
that
good
must have
old
been like
days.
being on Wall Street in the 80s. You're just like, yeah, let's go. Like everyone's making money. You can run campaigns for anything, you target anybody, like it doesn't matter. I'm like, oh God, that would have been so great. Unfortunately, I started a little later in 2020, 2021.
Yeah.
But again, we had COVID, the boom, all that kind of stuff, which I think we're coming down off of now. So it's sort of kind of like make or break time, I feel like, for a lot of things. But it's honestly never been more nuanced and more difficult to run ads and get results that are, not super expensive and that type of stuff. Because Meta is coming out with things that they think are helpful. But it's crazy though, because it's just like, I think there's a couple parts to it. It's like a lot of people have come into the space. Like, right, there's a couple of big players that are always bringing in ad managers. They have programs around being an ad manager and how all this stuff. So I think there's that piece. And then there's also the agency space where there's tons of people starting all of these different agencies. And so there's just so much competition. And then it's like, how do we differentiate ourselves? And then, a lot of people tend to just go for, I can do it cheaper, I can do it cheaper, I can do it cheaper. And so I just think there's a lot of movement sort of happening in the space that's negatively affecting the ad managers and the perception of them.
Yeah, and I mean, it's all over the place. I know people who
Yeah.
still do the 5K retainer packages on top of ad spend, on top of profit sharing. I mean, there is success there, but it's
Yeah.
also, I think, harder for the newer person to get into it and specialize because that price point where you're competing is not apples to apples. And then, oh my God, talk about all the online business owners who say, I'm looking for a VA who does my ads and,
Oh, yeah.
they're just, like, trying to throw anyone in their business and just get it done, so, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
it's like it's just crazy pants out there.
Back to your point though about like the expensive retainers too, it's
Mm,
like you can't charge that anymore just for ads. Like the
mm,
people that are doing those big retainers, they are building all the funnels, they are building the emails, they are tracking everything, they are doing the ads as well. Like they're doing everything. They're not just doing, and that's kind of like where I came to the point where I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, necessarily, like, I don't wanna have this big agency where I have all these people so that I'm doing, like, super end-to-end everything, and I've been very intentional of just how I build my business because 'cause I'm in it for the lifestyle, like, I'm not trying to burn the world down here, and so, being honest about, like, "Is that what I wanna build? No. Okay, let's think of something else." But, like, the ones that are charging those super high retainers, like, they're the ones that are doing, like they're a full stack agency.
mhm.
It's not just an ad manner anymore. People are not going to pay $5,000 a month for you just to look at their ads. There's not. Like, those days
I
are
mean,
over.
it used to be where you just did the tech, you didn't do the copy. Now you have to do the video editing, you have to do
Everything.
the story style, portrait style video on top of it and all these
Yeah, you gotta have
variations and
strategy. Like, the button
yeah,
pushing, that part's gone. I mean, that's been gone for
yeah,
a while, but, although I still find that there are people that say they're ad managers and they just, like, go in there and, like, build
yeah,
some shit campaign, and you're just like, "What's happening here?" But,
yeah.
there's levels, but yeah.
How have you done it differently? Because a lot of my listeners also don't want the big agency. They don't want to get heavy into the people management and they do want to do more. And so that's the conversation you and I had about, stepping up into marketing managers or fractional CMOs and whatnot. So how are you bridging the gap and making yourself different?
Yeah, it's interesting too because, like, I feel like I'm right in the middle of it right now, so, like, maybe
Mhm.
my answer in a year will be different, but what I'm doing right now in dealing with this transition and thinking about what I wanna do, because then, of course, it's like a whole existential crisis of like, "Oh my god, what do I wanna do?" I know all this stuff because it's like my knowledge has just been right, like,
Same.
expanded completely over the last 6 years and doing technology and doing builds, like, I'm really good with tech and systems and processes and, like, understanding customer journeys, all these different things. Because I also have a sales and business development background. Like, I was a partner at, like, a Fortune 50 financial firm. I was building sales teams. I was in the field. Like, I was doing all that stuff too. So all of that plays into it. So it's been kind of like an identity crisis where I'm just like, "What am I gonna do? What do I wanna be when I grow up?" Which never ends, I feel like.
Nope, it
But
does
for
not.
me, yeah, for me, what I wanted to do, I was like, "Okay, I don't wanna, like, abandon ship with ads," because it's like, that's been the bread and butter for a while. I do have a lot of ad clients that I've worked with that I love, and I'm at a point where it's like, I'm only doing referral only for ads clients 'cause I'm not really marketing myself as an ad manager right now. So I'm like, I don't wanna jump ship, but I wanna find something that, like, blends that with other things, kind of like a bridge situation, and so we actually, made an investment into a data platform that allows us to, like, create high intent lead lists, which we can use for our ad clients, but also plug it into other, like, companies and other, like, lead gen process that other businesses might be doing. And then there's also, it has its own pixel, so you can, like, identify anonymous website visitors and that type of stuff. So it has a bunch of different tools in it essentially
Yeah.
that can help marketing be more effective, be more efficient, and squeeze more juice out of what you're doing, especially if you're spending money. So I was like, okay, great. I can use this for my current clients, but then I also can create other services and do other things and test other stuff with it, which is what we're doing. So, like, we are, working with clients where we are building acquisition systems for them. We are helping them with lead generation. We are helping them make more money from the ad spend that they're spending. So we're kind of doing a lot of different things right now. And in, I guess, the quest of figuring out sort of like where we wanna land. So we're really kind of
Yeah.
in the middle of it because for me right now, I'm just like, if something sounds like cool, like, I'll do it. Yeah, sure. Like, if that's, you want me to do this and it's in my wheelhouse and I'm, like, jazzed up about it, I'll figure out a way to do it, make it happen. We'll do that. And so I'm kind of like in my yes mode of just, like, doing a bunch of cool stuff and seeing what I like because 'cause I've been so siloed with ads, even
Mhm.
though I'm doing way more than just ads for my clients, but it's, the perception again of just like, "Oh, you just do ads." And so now it's just I'm kind of in my exploratory college girl phase where I'm like,
Post-divorce era.
"Yeah, right." Like, "Yes, I'll do that, whatever." And just, like, leaning more into all the different aspects of stuff that I know.
Yeah.
So, maybe my answer will be different in a year, but I'm kind of really in the middle of it right now, which
Thank
hopefully
you
is helpful
for
to some people that are listening.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for sharing that because a lot of us are in that transition and it's always like the stepping stone. Like you said, it's never this final destination and you don't know where it's going and the way things evolve, you have to keep up with it. And ever since I've known you to niche down in ads, you've always been about data and metrics, performance marketing, and you were
Thanks.
using UTM links and tracking before other people were.
Yeah,
And still there's ads managers who don't. So I've always loved that about you. And it
it's
seems like you're
crazy.
doubling down on that. I mean, look how just
Mhm.
messed up Meta is. You can't always like, the metrics aren't even, like, accurate inside their own
Yeah.
platform, and then the way iOS is and all the targeting and tracking and the cookies, like, it's kind of a mess there, so you need a secondary like, sense of what is the real data, and, like, also, I think about the retargeting, it's not always just the ad that converts, right? So it's like you gotta
Yeah.
go to the next step and the next step in the customer journey and almost be responsible for more of it to have success.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I learned really early on, it's like, people are so quick to be like, "Oh, it's the ads," and I'm like, "No, no." I think I had, like, one client way back in the beginning, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like figure out this whole thing. And that's kind of what like led me on my learning journey, where it's like I got into Google Analytics, learned all of that. I mean, I can just literally remember how fried my brain was because I was like, I'm learning these systems, I'm learning these processes. Like, I think I was going through DCA at the time. So I was learning about webinars, I was learning about automations, like, and I got into like FG funnels or high level. So like I bought that and that's what my business has been on for 6 years. But I was learning all of those things at the same time. And it was just like, I swear there was like smoke coming out of my ears. But I was like, I want to know, like, and be confident in here's where the breaking point is, here's where people are falling off because 99% of the time it's not the ad, but it's just
Yeah.
like there's not a lot of visibility a lot of times into everything. And now I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna be in the back end of all your stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Give
gonna
me
be looking
access
at
to
everything. I
everything.
want to see where people are coming from. Like we need to know what is working, what's converting, what isn't, because I want to have that clarity. Because that's the only way that you can like make marketing decisions. Cause it's like I have so many discovery calls or I've had so many discovery calls where people are like, "Well, I feel like," I'm like, "Just stop right there." Like, don't care. Like, it doesn't matter what you feel like is working. What is actually working? Like, do you feel that way or are you sure based on data? And 9 times out of 10 it's just like, "Well, I feel like this just isn't working because blah blah blah." It's like, well,
Yeah.
most of the time if you look at the numbers, it's probably going to paint a different picture.
Yeah, and we can be so emotional about it and add
Yeah.
in, storytelling that doesn't exist and paint our own picture, and our clients do that, we do that, so ads
Yeah.
always felt like the solution. It's like you put money
Right.
in, you get money out, and I don't know about you, but I
Yeah.
have a lot of ads manager friends looking for clients right now, and I think they all not all, but just to, like, sum this up in a very simple way, you say yes to the wrong client, you can't get them results, and you're right back at the same place, like,
Mhm.
3 months
Yeah.
later, 4 6 months later when that contract's up and the ads haven't worked, and I'm like, "You can't just scrape the bottom of the barrel with ads clients, you have to go for the one who does care about the data, who does wanna invest in the right tech to see that,
Yeah.
and wants
You
the
have to. Like I
yeah,
really think that you just can't not do that anymore.
yeah,
I really think that, like, 1, you're doing your clients a big fat disservice, but also, like, the market is demanding more. Like, you need to
yeah.
be sharp. You need to know how to use UTM codes. Like, you need to know how to track things, set up
Mhm.
pixels, set up other tracking, use other plugins, use other platforms, do heat mapping, like, all these different things. Like, you just have to do that. Like, you can't just push buttons and create ads in Ads Manager and then think you're gonna charge 3, 4, $5,000 a month. Like,
Yeah,
you just can't. Market
yeah.
demands more. There's so much technology now. If you're not using it, I don't think that's a good move.
Well, plug for me, this is why I created the work group because I was in my silo, I'm like, "This is a lot to keep up with," and I can remember
Mhm.
the good old days thinking I was a freaking badass because I knew how to install the standard pixel, right? And no other VAs were doing this or setting up Google, Search Console, and I'm like, "I'm so fucking smart,"
Yeah.
and now it's like, "Oh, that's old news." Like, now you have to keep up with this, and I mean, you're gonna demo some tech that really makes you a high level CMO, like, in the work group soon, but also it's like AI, like, add in all of that and how to keep up with that, and this is why I have the work group. So, it's so hard when you are a single service provider also doing the marketing for yourself,
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
sending out the invoices, doing all of it, and it's tough, and, like, you and I were ranting about how you can't just do the bare minimum, like, clients do want more, unfortunately, and I mean, it is up to us to set scope and, boundaries and be very clear about who we work with and who we don't, but I'm seeing this in the job leads that come through, the people, like, they've, like, streamlined teams, and they want more out of their people, but they also want specialists.
Yeah.
Are you seeing this too?
Yeah, I mean, and I think a lot of it has to do too with just like, people that are using Meta, using Instagram, on LinkedIn, all that type of stuff. Like they're seeing all the things that people are doing and they want someone that's going to do those things as well. Like the age of information, like we've never had more info in our lives or access to unlimited information. So it's like you can't like swoop a client and be like, "Oh yeah," but like you can't bullshit really anymore. It's like there's Claude, there's Chatty, there's everybody, like all of the LLMs, like you can find information on anything. They can
Yeah,
literally ask like, "Oh, is this like what should an ad manager do or what should this person do?" And it's like you can find out. And then you can see that stuff that people are posting about that they're doing. So I think that has also helped like raise standards and raised, just what people are looking for because the consumer is smarter. And also if you're working in the online space, you're working with some of the most sophisticated business owners that there are. And so,
yeah,
like, if you're working with a local business owner, a HVAC, a plumbing, electrician, brick and mortar type style, deals, you can maybe get away with a little bit more stuff because they're not really their market sophistication isn't as high as someone who's running an evergreen funnel and building out this big giant ecosystem and they have low ticket offers and upsells and all of these things. So you also have to know your market too. And you have to meet them where they're at with your capabilities and your expertise.
Yeah. What do you think is the most underrated marketing skill right now with, like, just the explosion that's happening?
Honestly, I really think it's, like, being able to read the numbers and know the data and know, like, KPIs and how things should perform. And I think that's just, like, a lot of people don't necessarily know how to do that, and also, like, what to do from there. Everybody wants it. I don't feel like a lot of people do it right.
Mm.
Um,
And that's always been an ads
yeah,
manager skill set, right? When you look at the, meta suite and you're like, what does this campaign mean? I mean, that was the part that ads managers could bring that,
right.
beginner Bob couldn't.
Right, and I think that's kind of how I've kind of been on my journey too, is because, like, it started with that, and then it got into the rest of the funnel and the landing pages and all that type of
Mhm.
stuff, but I think that that's yeah, I guess that would probably be the one I would say the most, and I think it's just, like, the most important.
Yeah.
Especially now, it's like people want their, money to go further, they wanna squeeze out of what they're doing, like, marketing is super competitive in general, not as, like, a service provider, but as, like, someone who's marketing their business, and so efficiency is super key, and you can't do that without knowing any numbers or knowing how to work it.
Yeah. Is there one thing about, like, big launches that you've seen as an ads manager that people don't wanna admit?
I think people just don't wanna admit that they don't work as well as they used to. Like, I think we're just in a place like, everybody was making money in COVID, so people are like, "Oh, I'm this business coach, and, like, I made all this money." Like, "No shit, everybody made money in 2020, dude." Like, you could sell hotcakes online and make money in 2020 and 2021. It's like now everybody's, like, back into regular life. We're out of the pandemic. We're back in jobs. Kids are back in sports. Life is moving. And, like, show up rates are shit. Like, I'm just seeing it too with, like, a lot of my clients. Like, I've got evergreen funnels that are working super well. I got one client that's doing an evergreen funnel right now. We're getting, like, I don't know, 5, 6 ROAS on his stuff. And it's like, that's still working, like, it still works, but I think you have to have a good offer, which a lot of people don't wanna put the work into coming up with that, and then because everybody in the online space has just been like, "Oh, you're only one thing away, or just one thing away," and I can't stand one thing marketing, but it's just like,
Yeah.
live launching is tougher now. A lot of the clients that I know that I've just been checking in on this year that I've worked launches with are, like, going evergreen, and also, like, the capacity. Live launching is a fucking nightmare.
Mhm.
And I've had, like, clients that have gotten severely burned out by trying to keep up with the live launch,
Yeah. Yeah.
method and that type of stuff, and it's not as easy as it's portrayed. Neither is selling online, which is also a whole 'nother thing.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, the market has shifted. People, don't necessarily have the time to show up for things. They're doing stuff,
Yeah.
and
That's hard.
it's just changing.
Go back to your evergreen client because you had said in the coffee shop, you were talking about what kind of offers were working well, and I'm also kinda curious,
Mhm.
like, which ads you're seeing are working well, but we're seeing a change in offers, and it starts there. We can't do the marketing, we can't do the ads, we can't do the content for bad offers, can we?
No, no. And, like, if you have a bad offer, it doesn't matter what you do, like, and ads is certainly not the place you wanna go for that because,
Yeah.
boy, that'll just take you into a hole because the ads amplify what's already working. But, like, I think so much with the online space is like, "Oh, I did all this without doing anything," and so it's like so many people just think that you don't have to do anything, and it's like, I think those are the people that are having a really hard time with their offers because it's like, people don't wanna pay for information anymore. Like, we can get information in Claude. Like, I don't need
Yeah.
to buy your course to tell me how to do something. I can fucking do it myself, you know? Like,
Yeah.
not everybody will, but it's like my client, like, so he teaches people how to, get paid to speak, and he's, like, super successful, and I will say he does have, like, a big following. He was on TV, like, all this type of stuff. He's coached, like, very famous people, like Russell Brunson, that kind of thing. So he does have, the social piece of it, but, like, we're running an evergreen funnel to his course, but, like, when you buy his course, you get a 2-day mastermind in person with him, which is, like, a killer offer. Then he gets them there and he coaches them live for 2 days and then, upsells them into his program, but so many people are just like, "I don't wanna talk to people, I don't wanna do sales calls, I don't wanna, like I wanna have no human interaction, but I wanna make
Yeah.
$1,000,000." And it's like, you, 1, literally can't. Like, I don't know, people are just selling snake oil online, obviously, like, we've been seeing it for years, but I think those are the offers that are gonna continue to work, like, the basics. Like, the
Yeah.
basics will always work. Like, you're talking to people, you're getting in front of people, you're bringing people together, you're networking. I feel like networking has just been bastardized, but it's like, there is super value in being in person with people, but then also like offering that. Like people want more in person stuff. Like we're seeing a big rise of everyone is like creating the room, right? Like be in the room and like, oh, what I would have done is I would have gotten in the room sooner. Oh, here's my room. Like I created this room. It's like that's the whole thing. Like there's just a rise of everybody getting back in person. And so I think we're going to see more of that, but I also think we're going to see the consumers and the people like being willing to pay for that, not just, oh, I'm going to buy this like digital product. They want, something else. And that's how you can like stand out.
Have you had a client with a bad offer, or do you have a litmus test when you're in a discovery call where you're like, "Oh god, this person isn't gonna put in the work?" Like, can you tell when somebody's gonna be like that? Or, like, do you have a gut
Yeah,
feeling?
big time gut feeling. And like, I ask a ton of questions on the discovery call. Like,
Mm,
if you've never sold like your offer before, I won't work with you. Like, I ask about that. Like, I want to like basically audit everything because I know what's going to work or what's not going to work just because I've been doing it for so long.
yeah,
And so I'm asking them about like, conversion rates. What has worked? How are people buying from you? What's the process that they're going through? Like, what is working with them and you delivering this service, like product, whatever it is. I really get into the nitty gritty when I'm on
yeah,
calls with people because I don't want to get into a situation where we're trying to make something work, trying to make something work, and it's just not working. Like that is not ideal. You don't want it for the client. You don't want it for yourself. And so now just being in it for so long, I ask all the questions and then I'll be like, honestly, I'm like, launch this baby 2, 3 times, sell it to your people, get people through the program, get testimonials, and then think about ads. But like, don't just create something and then just rip ads at it. Unless you wanna do the ads yourself, that's fine, but I wouldn't
yeah.
pay, like, an agency or an ad manager to figure that out,
No, no.
you know?
Oh, this saves people so much time, but I think what, like, I'm taking away is, like, go even deeper into conversion tactics and data on those calls. Like, a lot of people in the work group, like, I think that's one of their biggest complaints is, like, shedding the lower end clients and just, like, constantly, like, working up market, and you gotta up your discovery call game to really,
Yeah.
like, weed them out. Are there any ads that, like, aren't working right now? Like, anything that's, like, old news is dead? I feel like the answer with marketing is always, "It depends," and something works
Yeah,
for
and I
everybody.
hate saying it, which is why I'm like,
You're like, "How do I say this
um,
tactfully without hurting Emily's feelings?" No.
no. No, but I feel like everything is kind of working right now.
Okay.
It's like carousel ads are coming back. I mean, I have an image ad. I have a client we're running to like
Yeah.
a VSL to a course,
Uh-huh.
and the best ad that's working for him is literally an image of him that like gives info about the course and then
Is he
goes to the sales
pointing?
page.
Does he point?
Yeah, have you seen it?
No, but I'm just like, "No way, those are back?"
Yeah, I no, he's not pointing, he's crossing
Okay.
his arms.
Oh,
I think
okay.
he does have one that he is pointing, but I don't think I used that picture now I'm thinking about it. No, he's crossing his arms,
Yeah.
but he's, like, leaning against it, and then it's got, like, the information on the course, like, on the side,
Yeah.
and he's also has a fantastic offer. He's the only person in his space doing what he's doing, and you very rarely see a blue ocean situation like that.
Yeah.
Um which is why, like, even though his course is kind of new, he's been in the business for 20 something years. He knows his edge. He knows all these different things and he has sold the course and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was like, let's see how this works with ads. And it's working really great.
Oh my
But
god.
like, it's an image.
That's so
So
funny.
work. Yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting because it's like,
Mm.
even when there was the big wave about video ads, which like video still works, whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's like images have still like always worked. Like I have an estate planning attorney who we've been running an image ad for her like lead magnet for like a year.
yeah,
It still works. And so I think the simplicity of graphics like will always work. Obviously they have
yeah,
to, say good stuff on them and not just like masterclass, click here, but like I think it's easy to see. You can read it, you can take your time to read it and then start reading the copy and that type of stuff and then click and
yeah.
go versus video is just like a totally different interaction.
I am so excited you're coming in the work group and we're going to dive deeper into ads reporting and see the tech tool that you use and recommend and to get deeper into the funnel. So let's wrap it up. And I want to ask you about the one thing marketing that gets you so spun up. Like, tell everyone
Mm.
what that is because there's so much like conversation about copy and messaging and what kind of offers and how to like pivot everything and no more pain point marketing. Oh yes, pain point marketing is good and the bro marketing we've been over, but what are you seeing about that or like why does it like Why does it get you so upset?
It's bullshit because there's never just like one thing that's going to make your business explode. And
Mhm.
it's like, it's never the one thing. So they say like, "Oh, this is the one thing," but the one thing is, "Oh, I went evergreen." Okay, but there's like 1,000 steps to go evergreen. So like that's not one thing, that's 1,000 fucking things.
Yeah.
And so it's just like it's like an iceberg, right? Like the tip is the one thing and underneath it is all the other shit that happens to make that a one thing. And I feel like it's just very misleading, but it's also created this culture of people looking for the one thing. And I think it's been
Mhm.
at a detriment of entrepreneurs because everyone's like, the next course is going to be what's going to get me there. The next coach is going to be what's going to get me there. The next strategy is going to be what's going to get me there. And I don't know, maybe it will. I have yet to see that transpire for anyone that I know. I just think it's harmful. I think it's not true. And I think it just creates this culture of people consuming, of course, the people who are saying it takes one thing, but then they're teaching the one thing. So of course I'm going to buy the one thing because that's
Yeah.
what I need, just the one thing. I don't know. I feel like it's just been a cancer to the online business world. And I think it's just led people into consuming stuff they don't need to consume, looking for that next one thing when really like they just need to have more conversations and know how to fucking sell. It's like, do that. That's the one thing, like, know how to talk to people, know how to sell, and your business will grow. Like, you don't need to be a brilliant, like, copywriter. You don't need to, like, be all over social media. You don't need to, edit a bunch of reels that look cool. It's like you have to talk to people about what you sell and sell it to them.
I think in one way, like that one thing marketing, it makes things simple, but like
Yeah.
you're selling a lie and there is so much. And even that's happening with AI right now. It's all like a ruse. Like, oh, also you have to maintain that AI. It's gonna change. Custom GPTs are gonna shut down. Who knows what's gonna happen to your tokens and what you're paying in the future? Like people, it's not just like one thing and done. And I mean, it's
No.
happening on all different levels. And I don't know the answer to combat that other than like this is why we have the podcast and you and I have these honest you know, conversations in the work group too, because we gotta like see what's going on and decide like where do we stand and how do we market
Mhm.
ourselves and what clients do we say yes to? And it can be sticky and it's also really fun. I know I feel like I'm being negative, but it's also fun work when it's working.
Yeah, for sure, and I think at the end of the day, as long as you're, like, doing what aligns with you and how you like to build your business, like, who cares what other people are doing?
Yeah.
Like, if you're
Yeah.
happy and you have balance and you're, whatever, staying home with your kids or you're able to homeschool or you're able to go on
Yeah.
vacations or, like, everybody's vibe looks different, and as long as you're just, like, sticking within that, I think that's the most important thing. Because then it's easy to get sucked into all the other stuff if you kinda don't have those guardrails on,
Yeah.
but as long as you're doing what you vibe with, like, hell yeah, do that. Who cares what other people are saying?
I like what you said at the
That's
beginning.
your one thing. Do
Yeah.
what's up with you.
I like what you said at the beginning. I'm in it for the lifestyle. Me too. Me too. I like working at home
Yeah.
with my cats and I don't want to be back in the corporate. So, okay,
Yeah.
Megan, this was so much
Yeah.
fun. Thank you. I'm so
Yes,
excited
thank
about our
you.
conversation and to go a little bit deeper in the work group. Like, where's the best place to connect with you?
Yeah, I love a voice note, so feel free to slide my DMs. I'm at Chime House Media on Instagram, or Hey Megan Shields is my personal one. And then Chime House Media is my website. You can find me there, Megan Shields at chimehousemedia.com. I'm online, not hard to find. So feel free to hit me up.
All right, thanks. If you love all the marketing intel, if you love learning how other people are running their business, the changes they're seeing, how they're adapting, if you want to be a part of the conversation, please apply for our digital marketers work group. It's a collective, it's a community of freelance marketing specialists and ops specialists who are doing the work. We have monthly get togethers, happy hours, water cooler sessions. We're sharing inside our circle community, referrals, client opportunities, speaking opportunities, new tech, new training, and all of that. So you don't have to keep up with it on your own. But more importantly, you're surrounded by people doing the work. And if you found that this episode really fun and you can't wait for the tea on the next one, make sure you hit subscribe and you'll get the next episode landed in your feed. All right, I'm Emily Reagan. Thanks for joining us. Unicorns Unite.